Right. Dag nabbit. Is this working? Why is everything... Oh, it's working now, I guess. I don't even know how I send a new link. I'll just put new link. I don't know. I'll have to just wait until people catch up. Damn thing didn't work. Right, let me see if I can get a link to this page. How can I get a link to this page? I'm just gonna have to just hope that people figure it out, because I don't know what happened there. I really don't know what happened. Right. Well, I'm not seeing it. Well, I can't really see it. All right. I'll see how this works. Anyway, I'm just going to get on with it. I'm sorry if I knocked everybody out of the thing, because I don't know what's happening. Hopefully people can hear me. It's crazy. All right, easy to Quan. Yeah, I don't know what's happened here. Anyway, I'll just get on with it. So, easy people, welcome to the Akai Force Club. Oh, that's not even the right... Oh, it's all going south today. I ain't even got the right one on. It's meant to be that one. There you go. What a day, eh? Right, I thought I was on the ball, and I'm off the ball. Right, so you could have some laughter for that. I say, please subscribe.
Just do it!
Because it's madness. But don't forget to like and subscribe. And any questions I don't answer in the live, I'll answer in the comments if I can, and try and show them. Hopefully other people will notice this link. Anybody who's on here, if they can send a message on the forums and whatnot, then other people can catch up, because it's just a weird one. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, we're here. Oh, right. Let me just move this sidewards a bit so you can see everything. Yeah, there. And tell me if everybody can hear what this is. I'm going to try and go a little easier, slow today. Oh, where's my little thing? How am I getting plinks? 1 second. All right, we're there now. All right, great. That's good. That's good. So, where's the chat thing? There, chat. Right, now I can see your chat. Right. Right. All right. Hi, Lisa. Inky the cat. Good to catch up with you. Right, I'm gonna just give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. So I'm here now. Okay. And you can hear the music, and you'll hear me. I'm going to turn off my keyboard. And now I'm going to use this. Now, like I say, for anybody who's new to this Akai Force Club question and answers, I try to answer as much as I'm aware of on the Akai Force and whatever I've learned using the Akai Force for some time now, and I also try to show certain techniques. They're just musical techniques in general, and techniques of using the Akai Force to make music. Now, I might have said it, and maybe I haven't said it before. The reason why I use the Akai Force I just like the idea of self-contained devices. I'm not one of these doorless people. I'm not really bothered about that. I'm not into modular. I'm not in anything. I just like the idea. I've always liked the idea of being able to use something where you can create stuff on it and then you can do the same stuff live. So if I decided, right, I'm going to get a band now and my band's going to just play this, I'm not having to, I don't know, get tracks, MIDI tracks over onto this machine, onto this laptop, figuring ways out back in the old days how I had a 4-track or 8-track player and just different things, and just so much pain, so much grief, to tell the truth. And then this thing comes along. Well, the MPC Live was something I kind of used, and I thought, oh, that's quite nifty to use for live. But that was more like it kind of worked more like a multi-track player than an actual sequencer, where this, it seems to do everything. You can use it as a sequencer, a multi-track player. You can use it as a DJ machine if you want. There's loads of different ways you can use it, different techniques as well, which is a thing that I like. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I see stuff as well on, because I've got Cubase and I've got Ableton, and I use them both. And you know what I really like? One of my favourite devices, not devices, but one of my favourite, it's not for the DAW, I like it for the plugins, is Reason. I think Reason has some of the best, most innovative plugins that I've seen. It's like they just keep thinking of clever ways of making it easier to make music, because that's the main thing why I do this. This is the main reason why I show people this. I just want to make easier for everybody to make music, because then you just get better music, because more ideas make it more progressive. That's my belief anyway. A few things have been going on, bits and bats. Can't really say at the moment, but hopefully if it turns out good, I can promise that this is probably going to be the machine to have, if I've got anything to do with it. And if it isn't this machine, it'll be an extension of whatever this machine has. So anyway, I don't know, but that's like miles away. And in the current atmosphere, this is still the one to beat. This is definitely still the one to beat. Shout out Creshead as well. Creshead from the Gear Space. I'm sure I've seen that, your logo on Gear Space. I'm sure I have. Anyway, today I was gonna do like R&B. What I do every week, I just choose a different genre. What I learned last week, I did dance, and what I did is I did a lot of stuff off my head, and that was kind of foolish. I should have really listened to a few tracks, but my ego took over and thought, oh well, I know how to do a load of stuff, or something, I'll just remember it. And it's like, no, there's certain styles that have moved on in different ways, and there's loads of things that I didn't really get to show because I started getting into the weeds of other stuff, and I should have just gone with it. I am doing a preamble now, but fair enough, I am doing a preamble because I always like to do a preamble before I start doing stuff. And yeah, and the reason why I'm going to say this is R&B's, it's not really going to be funk and soul stuff. I'm just going to kind of have R&B across the last 20 years, because it has been about 15, 20 years of R&B, kind of. I'd say it's been about that amount of length of time. So it's from your Missy Elliott's to the Hers and whatever, Summer Walker kind of stuff now. So that's what I'm going to kind of aim at. I actually was going to get giddy and actually do 60s R&B and show you 3/4 time. I might do that. I never really know. Do you know what I mean? I start overthinking things and start getting into, oh well, who's watching and whatever, and I shouldn't really. I should just get on with whatever it is. Anybody who sees this can take their ideas from that, because I show lots of different techniques. There is one technique that I want to show now. It's not necessarily R&B, but it is 60s, 70s thing, I guess. And I wanted to show that before I get into the R&B, because it was on the front of my mind. And it was something I observed, again, like I was talking about Reason and their plugins, and they've got a thing called a dual arpeggiator. And I was just watching a thing about dual arpeggiator, and it was obvious in my mind when I knew about it. But at first I was like, oh, wait a minute, I know how you could do that on the Force. And I thought, oh, that's quite cool. And it's this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piano. And because a piano is a good sound to have for this technique, what I'm going to show you here, and I'll go and get my normal piano. Can everybody just tell me you can hear everything? Well, I guess everybody can hear everything fine, because you would go, oh, we can't hear anything. So I'm just going to get this piano here. So I've got my little piano here. Oh, right. A little question. I wonder if the Force has more RAM than the MPC. No, they have exactly the same. The MPCs, the only thing that is different, as far as I'm aware, the only product which is different is the MPC 61. And the only difference, as far as, again, as I'm aware, is that it's got an extra 2 gigs of memory in that, just because they didn't want to get into any grief with the new plugins of people saying, well, that's all funny, but everything else is exactly the same. In fact, there is no reason why this software, and people have shown it, couldn't run on MPC. The only problem is the buttons and the layout are not the same, and you're starting to get finicky. It's like this button here, select, is the most amazing button. There's loads of things they've added to here, which I don't know. They've let the MPC audience dictate not advancing, which I think is a bit of an odd one, because it'd be like, I'm sure people wanted Model T Fords for years after cars got better, but it didn't stop every other company from saying, well, wait a minute, we're not going to have a car what drives at 50 miles an hour if we can have a car that drives 120, just because people get confused by speed. But I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, the trick what I was going to show you is this. And it's good for like ballads and Beatley kind of stuff. So anybody who's wanting to do any Beatley stuff or ballads, use this trick. So go to screen, always go to screen. Yeah, that's, well, anyway, always go to screen. You probably won't have to say, probably won't have to say that in the future, but never mind. We go to screen. So go shift, and I'm going to do my favorite thing on here, note config, and my favorite part of note config, or one of my favorite parts, or probably the favorite part, is progressions. I'm going to go and use the ballads. So I'm going to use ballad progressions because it's something that everybody's got. So if you've got a Force in front of you, you can follow along with this. I'm going to keep it in C, and I'm going to choose, I'll put my full notes on here, and no, I'm going to choose a different set. I'm going to choose a different progression. What's this one like? I think I like this one anyway, but let's see. Yeah, it's for simpleness, I'm going to choose that. So I'm going to go to that tempo. I could tempo that tempo in what I was thinking slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 taps should tell me to where it is, 75, because I like to work in round numbers. Never understood them sample folks who, when they get samples, they get the sample and it'd be like, I don't know, 88.93, and then they'd make the tune around that sample. I never understood that. The fact, as soon as you can move the pitch on a sample, I would always tighten it up regardless, because then you've just got weird timings throughout your tune. Anyway, I digress. So I've got my what's its name? There's the one what I'm going to use. I'm going to slow that down a little bit because I'm going to make it a ballad. So I'm going to go to 70, right? And right. So just for the sake of argument, I'm going to do that, and then I'll press that to 3, 4, and right. So yeah, that's cool and everything, but check this out. So now press this so that I can see everything. I can go to grid, and what I can do is select all of the notes that are bass notes. Actually, sorry, the wrong way around. Select all the bass notes, right? Press that to get myself back. And then all I need to do is nudge to halfway. And what have I got? Instant. I could have used that one, but no. Yeah, I could do that one as well. I'll do. Let me just double check this. Oh yeah, so I should have selected that. It's just that the voicings are quite close, so it's close cluster. So I'll move that. I'll press that so that I can see the screen again, and then again nudge halfway. And what have I got? Instant Beatles. Yeah. I could go on to that. I used to look outside my window for a cup of tea and a slice of cake. Yeah, so you get that. So that's just a quick trick. Show it again. Do it with another one. So launch and what's its name? Launch and note. I'll go shift note. I'll go, and if I hold, I can just quickly go to progression by hold, which Andy Mack used to do back the old school days. Happy birthday, Andy Mack. It was his birthday yesterday, I think. So I noticed, and everyone's saying happy birthday. So happy birthday, Andy Mack. I know he's not watching, but regardless, it's always nice to wish somebody a birthday. So let me go to another one. Like I says, I'll just show it again. Shout out to, oh right, wow, it's starting to fill up in here. So because I get the feed comes through. So Easy Humlog, Xander G, nice one again. I shouted out Cresshead and Tiquan and Inky the Cat, and everybody. Nice one. Right, so I'll just show you that again. I'll do another one. I'll look for a minor, even though it's greyed out. I can see, and then I'll look for a minor one. There's a minor. So, oh yeah, this is one of my favourite. This is like an old school R&B one. All right, so what we want is I don't know, it doesn't really matter, does it? Right, yeah, we'll have that for the sake of All right, so what? All right, so a bit faster, I'll if I press record. 2, 3, and do you know what? I always press the right ones. I always press the wrong buttons. Never get anything right the first time round. And then, like I says, go to here, go to the bottom, go to your grid, sorry. Select the bottom notes, which are the bass notes. So this. And do you know what would have been nice? If you could press shift and do that. But what you can do is, see how I've selected them? And I want these other two bass notes here. What I can do is I can go to step sequencer and I'm going to stop it because I'll get myself confused here. Right, I've got on bottom notes. No, I can't do that, can I? Can I do that? I can, but it's faffy because I was going to say I go to step sequencer, I go to poly notes, and then I would select these, and then I have to. No, it's too faffy. I was getting too giddy. This works when you've got drums, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work too tough when you haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze this in a little bit, just there. I'll go back and I'll select it again. In fact, you know what? I always say this, and then don't follow my own words. You don't have to do everything in one go. So you do it halfway. So that's moving halfway. I'm going to move this bass thingy halfway. Move these notes halfway. So now I've got. And then I can hold that, go back to that, hold that, go to scale. You know, it's so weird not playing on the piano because certain things I think are sometimes a little easier on the piano. So like, oh good lord. Take it back. To tell truth, the only thing is the fluidity is better on the piano. So and the only thing about that is what would help that is if you and I better show this trick. I'll show this trick actually. There's so much that I've learned that I forget stuff. If you go to MIDI, right, because this doesn't have a sustain pedal, the sustain pedal is under knobs, MIDI. So all your sustain main functions are underneath that. So for example, but do you know what? I'll copy this. So I'm going to copy this to here. I'll go back out to there. I'll go to launch just to get rid of that there. Right. I could have stopped it, but it doesn't really matter. So let me go to note again. Now, my knobs. There's the only thing I don't. It's not a bad thing. It's just, as you've seen there, sometimes the screens don't necessarily update. again, observations that hopefully are going to get resolved if I have anything to do with it. So let me turn this piano off again. So now, as you notice, at the moment, if I'm pressing, there's no sustain. Well, there's a little bit of release, and then there's delay. So because there isn't a foot pedal, what you can do is you can use the sustain underneath knobs MIDI. So you can hear this. But if I touch sustain, in fact you can't really. So if you notice, that's with it off. That's while I'm touching it. I don't have to twist it. I think it's the switch on and off. So, oh no, right, no. You just touch it. So anyway, I digress. That was something I was showing you. Hopefully that's an interesting thing. That's how you could use a ballad. You could go into that, get the melotone. I was doing it. In fact, I'll show you what I just did, a rough idea of something, because I was like, oh yeah, that was a good idea, and I thought, oh, I just did it really quick, but I thought I'd keep lay it down, and that was what I came up with. And it's like a little Beatley type thing. Yo, I'm asking mother, teaching charging mother, love it up, and all of that is all the sounds off of the hype. No, there's melotone, and the rest, that piano is the vinyl. No, it's a driven piano in hype. And then what I used as well was, which a lot of people don't really appreciate, is channel strip and the gate in channel strip, because sometimes you just want the tail end of reverb to get cut off just to make the sound tighter, and you can use the gate. So it's not even a filter gate, it's just literally just tipping the end of the gate, bringing up the threshold, and it just makes sounds a little cleaner, and it can make pianos a bit more chunkier and stuff like that. So anyway, R&B, rhythm and beats. It's not rhythm and blues. I don't know why. I don't know how anybody let the words R&B. They should have come up with, like, neo soul is neo soul, it's new soul. R&B is like new R&B. It wasn't really, because it isn't even like the 3/4 time, and it's not doing that 12 thing. Anyway, R&B, we all know what it is, right? So what I'm gonna do now, because I did my little showing you a trick. I'm gonna do this order that I did here. I actually wrote it down so that I could do it in order. You can't see that, but take my word for it. There's a little order there. So I'm going to go back to knobs screen, and we'll go new again. So we'll start fresh, blam. And what I'm going to do, because I just had a listen to a track by this girl, Her, and a guy, Bryson Tiller. Easy Amit. What is it now? What was I saying? Anyway, so I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to do over in the UK, right? The way what we listen to R&B is different than I think in the States. I think in the world, different people, the genres and how we listen to things are different. So, for example, we have a lot of club. In the UK, our nightlife is like a club life, and we've had it for years, like years and years. So you're used to listening to music really loud, but in a club, not in a strip club. I'll tell you for no, and I'm just saying this because it popped in my head. To us in England, we can't begin to understand what a strip club is in the sense of it as a night out. A strip club in the UK, the concept of somebody going out on a Saturday night to go to a strip club is, I can't begin to tell you how crazy it seems from the UK to us, because it's just so not a thing that we do. People, both men and women, they go to a club together, hopefully, well, not hopefully, with the intention probably to chat each other up or whatever, but not to see somebody dancing. So wow. And I remember when I saw it in the hip hop thing, and I was like, really? And I just thought, oh, that's just a one off. And then I thought, oh, well, that's probably just some guys who just said, oh, well, I can't be bothered trying to chat up a girl. We'll just go and watch some girls at strip club. But then I've seen more things and I've gone, wow, that's amazing. People actually do that as a night out. It's weird. It's a very strange concept. But again, cultures are different. The world's full of different cultures, and I'm not dismissing it. I just think it's interesting. So because of that, we're used to a lot of faster R&B songs. That's why we like the old school 90s, the Missy Elliott type stuff and everything, because we can dance to it. So when we hear a lot of R&B today, it's kind of odd. Even for DJs, it's like a lot of the Drake tracks are like, nobody can play them because it's just like, it's too slow. So, but anyway, I'm going to attempt to do some first. I'm going to do a little quick. No, I'm just going to do some R&B and we'll see. I'm going to do a tempo. I'm not going to do this. Right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm overthinking it again as I do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with something which is probably a more modernish R&B type thing. The double time type R&B thing, and I'll quickly get that out of the way to show you how I would approach that and show you the different techniques, and then I'll do more my kind of R&B, the more, like I say, the stuff what you can play in a club and people can dance to. So I'll play one kind of probably strip club, or people play in the car or on the headphones at home or whatever they do in the American-y type thing. And I don't even know. Do you know what? I've just realised I don't know if that's the whole of America, what is like that. It might only be certain cities what are like that. So I might just be assuming all of the really slow R&B tracks are that's what the US listen to, but it can't be, because Neo Soul exists, Jill Scott exists, and Moonchild exists. They're not necessarily R&B, they're soul, but there's other acts. I mean, I've just come across some guy, Devin Summit, and that was like dope, and he's a new act. Anyway, let's do some R&B. Right. So me personally, I might have said this before, I like a foundation for whatever I do. And usually a foundation will be like a sample. And I think, do you know what? Throughout this, I might just use one sample as an example. And that rhymed. Yeah, I think, yeah, I am going to, Easy Unknown Nordic. I'm going to use one sample, and I'm just going to maybe change it up. I think that might be the best approach. I don't know. I always think, should I just use only the content what comes with the Akai Force? Then everybody who's watching can do this. But then I think, well, no, because people, I'm sure, will have samples and it won't really matter. So it won't really matter. And I don't know, I'm stuck in the middle with that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do something like that double time kind of R&B. When I say how I would approach the double time is kind of in that, like that Kendrick Lamar Loyalty, and there's a couple of the tracks like that where it's about 110 BPM, and I'd do it like that, because if I was going to be DJing and I'm DJing an R&B club, I'm going from about 94 to about 110, between that, if I'm keeping the mix up. So for example, I start playing stuff faster. So like I'll have Let Me Blow Your Mind, that Eve tune, and it's like 90 BPM, but I'm like, yeah, forget all that and start playing at 96 and 98 BPM. So it keeps the vibe up in the club. Like I said, different horses for different courses. But I'm gonna do this at 110, which kind of means it's something you could play in a club, even though it's half time, and you won't lose the floor as much. It's an interesting dilemma because I've played in different clubs, and sometimes it's more commercial where you have to kind of play what people know, which I'm not keen on, but we all need money. And it's really interesting when I play Drake tracks. It's like sometimes I just say, oh, I won't even mix it, I'll just play it, and like people will stand on for it, and I'm like, this track, you're basically standing on the floor just yelling because it's too slow. Anyway, I've gone off into my little rant. Right, back to music. So I'm going to start with a sample, and I'm going to just go to my sample. I've got some little chops, and I'll call them soul loops, and they're little loops of soul, basically. And I use them as foundations for stuff. So I'm just going to have a quick scan. Look at this. I've gone off what I said already because I actually had the sample what I was going to use. But then I thought, oh no. All right, that's nice. That sounds like something. So what I'm going to do with this progs to MIDI thing, I'm going to press load. And I've loaded that into a audio track. I didn't need to. Do you know what? Let's just start right from zero. Let's start from zero. Right. And let's do this properly. Now, I've had a ramble for 37 minutes, but hopefully that was all helpful. And here we start. So first of all, setup. So the setup is blank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a sample. So I'm going to just load in a sample and not even load it in because I already know that I'm going to chop up that sample. So I don't need to load it into the an audio channel. The reason why I would say you sometimes want to load samples into an audio channel is if you want to quick select samples, you can use the audio channel to quick select. If you've got a load of samples and you go into sample edit up here, it can be a pain. It can be a real pain. So at the moment, that's great there. I'm going to put the headphones on so I can hear it. Pling, 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 pling. That'll do me. So I don't need all of that. So I'm going to just use that to come. That last one there, that'll do me. And then I'm going to go to process. And I'm going to discard that. And now I've just got that. So I've just got what I want. And then next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go from trim by tapping trim to chop. Tell me if I'm going too fast, anybody, because I'm really trying to go mad slow, right, with what I'm doing. And then now, because we've got that lazy chop thing and that, press this little dial up there and that'll give you the pads, and this works regardless of what screen you're in. When you press that, it just overtakes the pads, so you can chop samples up even if something else is playing underneath. So now I press 1 to get the first slide, and then just press when I'm playing. I could have done threshold, but I don't know, let's do it in rhythm. And it's a good practice to do it this way because then you can take your rhythm, you can start practicing your rhythm at the same time. So that first one, and then I move to there. Okay, I was waiting, but it's all right. Whatever. So I messed up there, it doesn't really matter. And then what I can do is I can either use the dials to dial it in, or I can go here and just pull it to there. And that's the beauty of a touch screen. So I can go there. I'll move that to there. And there it is. I can test it out. Now, I noticed something here. Listen. You could probably hear that. That's got a little click. So if you get little clicks, what you can do is you can press Shift there, and that'll bring you up the second dialogues here, and you press Not, and Not Snap does what's called zero crossing. That's what that means, zero crossing. And what it tries to do is it tries to find, and I'll zoom right in, it tries to find a wave point where there's a 0 point, and that'll stop a click. So now I'm going to let this see, and then it'll try to find somewhere. So there we go. Oh, right, so we've got one here. So let's 0 point. That's no. It'll try to find the 0 point. There, that's a 0 point. That's crackle. That's definitely a click. It's definitely a click. There we go. 0 point. There we go. So that'll do. So I've got that. Zoom out. What would be cool is if you had another one where you could tap and that go out, but it's all right. No sleep lost. And then I press Shift and I press Convert. And am I still on setup? Yeah, I'm still on setup, so that's fine. But what I'm going to be going to is drum programs. Again, one of my favorite features across the whole of the MPC, especially how it's utilized in here. It really comes into its own. So what I do is I'll press Shift and I'll go to Convert. Now, I have a habit of not doing this, and I really should be doing this, and I'm going to advise you to do this. At the moment, it says non-destructive slice, right? And what that means is each one of these chops is not getting affected, is like exactly how that is on there. Each one of these chops is part of this like wave sample. And what it does is it cuts off each one of the slices. But at the same time, it means if I affect one of the slices, it affects the other slice. So keep that in mind. When it's in this mode with non-destructive slice, if I move, for example, before I do it, if I move this, it's going to affect the back of this. So if I move number 3, say if I move that, it's going to affect the other one. Where's my slices here? Select slice. So if I move that like there, right, the end of that one, which is there, that is that but, and I might go, yeah, I don't want that, but right. If I say, right, let me get the end of that. That's great, but what that might do is it might make this start in a funny place where I don't like. That's fine. Luckily, that's kind of perfect. It works, perfect fix. But if it didn't work like that, then you're going to have problems. And the best way to resolve that is by not having that problem in the first place. And how do you do that? When you're converting your slices into a drum program, you want to change this from non-destructive to pad parameters, or as I used to say, or I normally say, is pad parameters, but I'm trying to speak properly if I can. And the pad parameters, what that does is it's still non-destructive, but what it says is each pad is its own entity completely. So if I move the start or end of that, it's not going to affect any other version of that. It's not going to affect any version of that slice. So if I copy the slice and I say, right, well, I just want to move this slice like that, that copy is going to be its own entity. So that's why I would advise pad parameters. It's still non-destructive, but it means it won't. Good Lord, do you know something? I hope I did that right. Let me see. Oh, I did, because it's just gone back. So now, if I press Shift-click, clip, as I've told you, that's track edit. It's quick track edit, and make sure that note is on. So I'm going to go launch note because I like both of them together. I've now got, but they're all in one piece, so that I can attack these any way that I like without affecting any of the other samples. So let's get going. So the next thing, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just play it in. So I haven't got a thing. Have I got one for that? I'll just call it clip editing because that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to go back to the matrix. I'm fine with this. This is just my like guide to how I'm going to do this tune. So we'll keep it as 1/16 on, time correction on, no swing. I'm fine. Let's see what we have from that. So I'll tap this, 2, 3, and good Lord. So you're probably wondering, why have you done that like that? So that's slow. Because like I said, I'm doing it half time and there's a lot of gap there. It's like, blimey, there's a lot of gap there, isn't there? So now this kind of comes into its own. There's two ways you can look at what I'm going to do here. If I would, at the moment, at the present time of speaking, August 4th, depending on the quality that you want of this sample, if you stretch out the sample, it's going to start getting janky. Now, there's a lot of ways around, depending on the gain, what kind of sample you're using, you can stop it from being janky. I'm going to show you this technique. I'll probably show you both, knowing me, because we're building through a track. So now what we're going to do is, I'm going to play this tune, right? And do you know what? With clip editing, we're going to go into clip, and we're just going to use half of it. So now I'm just going to go use that loop length. And oh, do you know what? I'm so brain dead. I keep forgetting that you don't do that one. That's for fine tuning. Never use that for that. Only use that when you're in arranger. So just go here and turn this down. And or if you want to be fancy, you could press on that dial and then just say half and then press do it. And you've got the same thing. Brilliant. Brilliant. I don't know if that's in MPC. I don't think it is. But anyway, let's go on. So we've got, right. So we'll go gap. Look at that. So that one, that's all gappy. Well, what's gappy then? So let's go back, shift clip. So we're into drum programming. Blam. Look at this. So now I've got headers now. So remember, now I've got headers. I'm sorry I ain't got no timelines, but we can't have everything. Right. By the way, never knew about progressions, just checked out, but all right, yeah, progressions that's all my thing is progressions. Hey LR, hi LR. Yeah, but the note config version, the one on here, is far superior. All of the stuff where it comes to that is like the superior version of what's on the MPC. Because when I looked on the progressions, it's like, oh yeah, it does that, but it doesn't do certain things, and they're not necessarily janky. It's just even like the ARP, which again is madly outdated. It's not bad, it's just madly outdated. It's like really old. Does more here than it does on the MPCs. Right, and they could change that. I don't know why they aren't. There's certain things what I don't think they could change. For example, note config. Just because I think it's the way the layout is. I could be wrong. They could change. Select doesn't the MPC 61 doesn't have a select button. This is why I say I'm sure there is a force keys. I'm sure there is, because it just has so many other things were like madly limited on an MPC, even on the MPC keys, where it's like, I know that they don't want to lose, because people who've got MPCs, oh, well, I don't know about that. I'm used to walking these cars and planes. I don't know about any of that. But you're going to have to tell them, look, we've got cars and planes, come on. We respect walking, but some of us do want to get somewhere a lot quicker. But anyway, let's get back to this. So, I've got my samples here. I'm in my drum program. Now, there's two ways I could attack this. I could attack it by pressing warp, and I'll stretch it out. But as you can hear, it's like, it's all a bit wobbly. So this is a fantastic thing, and this is fantastic for chops. This is probably going to be, because of the length of it, it might be echoey. But what we can do is we can extend this tail length. And I think that you could do this on an Ableton as well. I think as well, and somewhere else you can. But as you can hear now, I've done it to 800 mils, and that's, it's gone, and we can fix that, because again, what we did is we did pad parameters. The other thing I want to talk about here, and hopefully I'm going to be able to play this and talk over the music. If I can't, I'll turn down the music. What you can do, and a lot of, I don't think this is on, I don't know if this comes on the MPC, but this bar timing, I don't think a lot of people really know what this is and how amazing this is. What this is telling you is, this sample is this length. And what you can do with that information is, you can say, if you were using warp, well, if I was in warp, this is where this sample would land. But you can go slightly further than that, because what it's also telling you is, if you have a slice like this, I can move. I just press warp on something. What did I press on warp on? Right. That, let's say, well, that's on that, but if I was to go to this one, I could, if this was on warp, I could fix the time of that by using stretch. So now on stretch, I could say, well, I want this timing of this sample to be, to land in this length. And it's a way that you can you can stretch something out so that it would land. So now this sample, if this was a piano riff, it's just a note, but if this was like blink, blink, this would land rhythmically now. So it wouldn't even matter if the whole of the sample isn't in time. It means this piece of this slice will rhythmically land, and that means you can change things from 4/4 or 3/4 and change the time of how they land and play. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. So we'll put that back to 100. There we go. Turn off warp. The tail length has extended this. Right. Now, I wouldn't do that because this isn't in context, so I need to play it and then I can hear in context. So the first one. So we'll extend that. So I'm going to turn down the music a little bit just to make sure that we're hearing that. Did I? Look at that. Did I just knock that? What did I do there? Oh, right. Okay. So I'll play this and then I'll stretch it out. Now I could do it for all of them, but I probably won't have to. So let's see. Still short. Still short. Let's see. Longer. Longer. What would be nice, I don't think it can do this do you know what? I've not checked this. I'm going to check it now with you. What would be really nice is if you could go one shot and then the one shot has a tail length. Because if the one shot has a tail length, then what you could do is you could press that. No, it doesn't. It kind of makes sense. The one shot can't have a tail length really because, I mean, sorry, not the one shot, the note on. I meant the note on. If the note on had a one shot, that would be good. Right. So you can't do that. It kind of makes sense, but I'm sure there could be a way around it. So let's get back to what we were doing anyway. So shift click back in here. I think that's definitely long enough. Hey? What the hell's going on there? Right, let me have a look at that. Oh, look at that. There's a little sneaky note got in there. Little sneaky note. Look at that. Little sneaky note. Now I could attack it. Well, there's a couple of ways. It doesn't really matter. Just get rid of it. Delete. There we go. Oh, let me just see what the questions are there. Unless you're not traveling with a laptop, then it's a lot more portable, responsive. Not mentioning for the more powerful. Take it from me. Visual Force user with no push. Yeah. Requires push 2, cause yeah. Push 2 is better, let's be honest. No, I'll be honest. The push 2 isn't because the problem with the push 2 is you need everything else. I've had push 1 and 2. I had them before. Well, I don't know. I've had them for a long time. I'd say I'm a pretty advanced Ableton Live user, and yeah. It's like this. Here's where it gets complicated with the push and here's where it gets complicated with Ableton, right? Ableton is exactly like the Force in the fact that maybe a lot of people aren't really using what Ableton can do. Because I've been to people's studios, houses, I've been people who've made records and they're playing something and I'm like, why did you do that? And it's like they've told me and they've explained, and it's took them a day, and I was like, you could have just pressed that, and it would have took 2 minutes. And then I realised the way that the way that people look at Ableton, they're not really looking in the right way. And a lot of times with the session, they're not using the session, they're not using automation. Ableton has amongst the best automation I've ever seen on anything, just because of the fact that the automation can be unlocked from the length of time of a track loop, and that is crazy. It means you can have something where there's a blip, you can make a blip change key, make it into a whole load of notes, make it echo away, come back and whatever, and it's literally a blip. It's just a blip playing around, blip, 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 blip. Make it go faster and slower, just because you can separate the envelope away from the actual timing. So you see little things like that, but I've seen but people don't use it. They use the arrangement mode, and I've seen them stickle brick stuff together, and then they're stretching it out, and I'm like, but you could just do that, and it takes 2 seconds. So I would again say it's similar to the Akai Force in that, well, less similar, because you're actually hands-on, a lot more hands-on with this. So there's more opportunity for you to see that, oh yeah, no, I don't need to do that. I can just do that and press one button. Anyway, let's get back to what we're doing. So we've got that. So that's that. This one can be a little longer. Edit pad. So on the second thing, we'll extend that as well, do tail length. And this is what's ace about tail length. See, so that's nice. Do you know what? Because life's too short, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just speed that up momentarily. So momentarily, I'll just do it fast, and then I'll slow it down. obviously now the speed, the actual time and the length in the tune, the notes is going to be shorter, so there won't be a problem that you would hear, but I know there is, so it's all right. There's one as well with the echo, and I'm going to fix that. Do you know what I could have done? To tell the truth, I could go sample, could go select all, come back here and just make them all long. Now, do you know what? Just for sake of speed, I'm trying to go really slow, but I don't want it to be boring. So there, and then remember to go back to current. So always remember to go back to current, because if you don't, that mashes up. I've tried to see if we could get one sorted where it clears. Like I say, I've force and push. Yeah, one's not superior. They're completely different. Do different things. Yeah, comparing apples, oranges, not apples. Yeah, they're similar though. They are similar. There's differences, but again, it depends on what the use is. For example, somebody might use Ableton for sound design. That's a whole different ball game, completely different. If it's arrangement, again, similar, very similar. There's slight advantages with the Akai Force because you've got the touchness of it. It is the only way I could describe it. It's not the same as a push because of the way that you can do about 3 things. You're kind of allowed to press a load of buttons at once and do something else, where if you do that on Ableton, you crash. And it's like, it isn't fluke, it's like they've actually embedded the ability of being able to do more than one thing at the same time with the Force, which means certain things just become available. Even the way that you think about creating and developing a track just becomes far more available faster. It's similar to how using Ableton Force without a push, the Ableton Force, what am I on about? How using Ableton is without a push. When you use Ableton without a push, and you're like, oh yeah, certain things don't really come to you. As soon as you start using a push, you go, oh right, I can do that, and little things and little movements like how you can press a pad and then move the timing of that pad. Little things like that wouldn't normally come to you when you don't have the push. But at the same time, there's things like the drum program and how the drum program works, as opposed to the drum. I can't even remember what it's called now in the Ableton. There's certain things where it just wouldn't come to you because you really have to be on. You have to kind of know how certain things work. It's a bit faffy, do you know what I mean? It's speed. So right. What was that shortcut you used to change the speed? Oh, right. Like I said before, and I've said it before, if you press and hold something, right, it's in that state. It doesn't switch over. So, for example, me pressing the matrix puts it into the matrix state, but as soon as I let go, it returns me back to where it is. So what I can do is, while this is playing, I could hold that state and then just turn that down. I could even have gone further, and then pressed that, and now I'm into the tempo, and then I could have, if I had an extra hand, I could have tapped the tempo and fixed that tempo there. Obviously, it serves no purpose to do that, but look, so I'm still holding that. I'll bring that back down to the tempo that I said, 110, and then watch, I'll let go, and I'm back in. I'm right back into drum program. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, press that, oh, you have to press that thingy. No, I can go right back into where I was. So as we can hear now, that's what I've been able to do from that chop. I've been able to nice that out. Look at that. And there's only one thing, and it's I could hear it. And you see that pip, but I can just press knobs. I can zoom into that. I could do it like this. You don't have to use the knobs. I just tend to use knobs, and it's because I have to go like that in the screen. And you see, and then the only thing I don't like is that scroll thing, but it doesn't really matter. And then now, because I did these as pad parameters, I can move this and it doesn't affect the other one. So now, and now I've got this, and there I could hear it in that beginning one. I got a little bit there, just because I'm a stickler for this. Yeah, it's all right. So anyway, like I said, this is a guide sample. I might keep it, might not. Maybe I'll change it, maybe I won't. So now I can go back by doubling that length again. So I'll go back to my clip. So go back to clip editing. And then bring that back to 8. And if I do it before it loops round, you can keep things in real time. So that there, do you see there, I had that little note that I played quietly. So highlight it, click velocity, turn it up. Still too quiet. Let's see what velocity we're on for the rest of these. There. Okay. So let's get some drums up in here. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna press drum to get in there. So drum program. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use I'm going to just use the kit's content from here. So, because I said I'd do modern R&B for the first one, I'm going to go and tap on quick search and look for trap, and I can kind of go through here. I'm looking for a kick. I like these. I want a kind of fit, a like fud kick. So let's go back. No. And obviously I can change the things, but that could be interesting. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that's what I'm gonna go. So this, too much reverby, edit pad. So get some of that reverb off. So this is a 4-layer. This is a 4-layer job here. What I would normally do is pull this down, but because it's 4-layer job, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be faffing with all of that, pulling each layer down. I press envelopes, and then all I have to do is move the envelope down. So now, and is there any reverb? No. So I'll go back to that envelope again. It's still not doing enough there. It's quieter. There we go. So I've got that a little bit more how I like. I would have it a bit more, to tell the truth, but we'll see. So so now what we could do is we could do a half time. Do you know what? I'll show you another trick here. And you know what? Funny enough, I've actually seen somebody do this. I always thought this was what it was whenever I listened to modern R&B. A lot of modern R&B is like, and then what it's done is it's just half that time. A lot of times it's like half of hip hop beats, them old school hip hop beats. So something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try that trick. So there. So now, do you know what I could have done? Put a bit of swing in that bit. Well, it doesn't matter. So that's like some kind of old. Do you know what? I could do it better than that. Let me do it again. Like some old school, and put a bit of swing in that. Bit of swing. So we've got that, let the rhythm hit you, let the beat take control. Oh dear, let me just press that again. So we've got that. Press my, so we're going into clip editing. All right, so we've got let rhythm hit you, let the beat take control. Something else. Yeah, we don't want it like that. So what can we do? Well, all we have to do is go edit, and then we say half the speed. So now we've got that half that speed, and then take that out to 8. So this kick is not doing anything for me. So the reason why I chose that kit was because I like the other samples. Oh, is it oh, you lie. Nice one. Thanks for telling me. Let me just press that. Is that back on? Oh, come on. Right, sorry. This is what happens when you all got little. All right, there we go. Right, we're back. Okay. So, I don't like that kick, so I've selected this one, and I'm just going to go through a few kicks. So now I'm going to go to here and press of quick search kicks, and we'll just go through a few. So what we can do is we can just go using the plus and minus to go up and down, and then they'll just come back through, which is nice because it replaces it in the memory as well. That's the one that works for me. Yeah, that snare, I'm not feeling that neither. Let's, we'll go snare, and then I'll stop this because, again, we'll try and be a bit faster. If I tap, I never know if it looks for everything in here. In fact, we'll try this out. I don't know if it looks for the words or it looks for the order of the words. So it looks for the words, that's great. So now what I'm going to do, what I just did is snare trap, because that's what I want, one of these kind of, yeah, that kind of thing. Just a straight, stripped down type style. So that should have been, well, it was still drum programs, weren't it? So. Do you know that kick? I don't think the swing works on it. It sounds like I'm out of time, unless, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll bring that down. If you're in this screen, I might have showed this before, but if you're in this screen, instead of you having to go, let's say we're in the edit screen because that's the best grid. You're in grid and you're like, well, I want to quantize this stuff, but I don't want to keep going back and forwards from that. You can just press shift and use TC. So that'll bring that up, and it's already in position to say it's only going to affect the highlighted ones. So now when I press do it, that should fix that. It should be tighter now. That's better. And so we'll do so here's another example. So I'll have this so it's latched kind of. So I only have to press a button, and then what I can do is by holding down no, yeah, I can bring up the time division. So I'll put my my thumb and this on there, and then now I can go. So I like that. I'm going to just record right in and freestyle it. So right. So I like that. I liked what I did there. And do you know what? I'm just going to repeat it. And because it's highlighted, except for that end bit, I didn't like that. Well, it's not that I didn't like that. It's just that end bit. I could double up. It doesn't matter if I double up, because if I double up on there, it's just going to double it anyway over. So, but I don't want it to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, there's two ways I could do this. I could either zoom in here, or because I know it's on a hi-hat, because it's not on a hi-hat, I can go to step sequencer. And I can go into the step sequencer because it's on the hi-hat. This hi-hat here, turn off that. These are all the hi-hat stuff. So this is the first part. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 8 parts. So if I press step sequence and hold it, it's going to show me 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, that's the end part. I don't know why it's not showing in eighths. I think it's something to do with because it's on 16ths. But anyway, what I can do is I can go to the end page, and that end page is going to show me that one what's off here. Let me click that so you can see it, that one here. And I want to get rid of that one. So I don't have to do anything except just press that to get rid of it. Now, there was some other stuff around here that I wasn't keen on. So again, I can come here, press that. I can come back, and it's probably this page here. Is it this page? Yeah, it is that page, because there's 3 there, and I can zoom in if I wasn't. I already know, but I'm pretending I don't. So I could zoom in, and I could go, all right. I don't have to do it like that. I just, whatever. And it's these 3 here, and I could go, well, let me get rid of these 3 here. So I'll go back out, and then I'm going to click that hi-hat, because I like that pattern. I liked it so much, I want it to do it again. And then I can press shift and press duplicate. Like I said, all of what I'm doing, I could do in real time without this stopping. I'm showing this. Please tell me if I'm going too fast, because I'm trying not to. I am really trying to go nice and slow. Anybody just tell me, is this working fine so far? Is everybody kind of making sense of what's going on here? Hopefully. Somebody go, yeah, unless my feed's gone dead. Right, I know there's a bit of a delay. Right, so now I've got... And the reason why I was choosing this kit is because I heard this kind of stuff. Now, might not be in the right key, and again, it might be... I know them chords were major. Them chords were major. I mean minor, not major. They were minor. So I've got a feeling that if I find the right key for this stuff will work. So we'll move the key. Sometimes this works. It doesn't always work. It works on notes. It definitely works on notes. On chords, not so much, because again, it depends on how that chord is. Like I said, I'm trying not to get into the weeds. I just thought that was interesting, and it might work against it somewhere along here, and some of these chords might work on somewhere. So I press. That was interesting. That was something. So, oh, that could work. Do you know that? That would work. What did I have? There. So that maybe. Let me just check what was that. maybe it's just 2. So maybe it's from A minor to G minor. Maybe that'll work. So let's see. So A, da, that could work. Something like that. Da 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 da. Oh, that could work. All right. So I like that. How could I do that? Right. Again, a couple of different ways I could do it. I could chop up that sample and then be da 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 da. But the thing is, if I did that, it would be playing from the beginning of that sample, wouldn't it? That whole sample wouldn't be playing. It'd be starting again, re-triggering again. I could cut it in places where I knew I wanted it to do that, and then it could be da 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 da. But then it'd be choppy in it, and then I have to kind of mess around with it. Or I could do exactly what I just did there in real time, record that automation in, and then I can fix where the notes weren't quite right. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do, I've got my beat here. I'm going to do that on a separate track. No, am I? Yeah, no. I'm going to do it, and then I'll copy that onto a MIDI track. So now I've got that sample as a separate thing. Or alternatively, I could just copy this sample down and then have it come in. So there's, look at all the different ways of being able to, if you've seen any of my little quick idea things, what I've done, you'll see that I don't have a lot of information, and it's because I realize you can do a lot of things with just the one clip. And again, different ways of approaching it. I showed last week probably how you could just do it in the MIDI, so you've got that and turn it on and off. I could show it how it is there, so I could just copy these, and I will. Do you know what? I'll just try and make things a little easier. So I'm going to copy that, and I'll do the da 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 da. So I've got one with the da 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 in, and I could, what I could do is I could even name that. Go there and then edit clip and name that. Da 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 da. So that clip, this it doesn't matter, does it? But whatever. Oh yeah, Undaunted Death, easy, nice one. And thanks for telling me it's froze, because like I say, I kind of look at the screen, but I'm looking down at the same time. So we've got our mellow. At the moment, we've just used the sample, but I am going to add it. Like I say, building up. I don't know. You said go faster and Undaunted Death. I assume you were joking because you laughed after it. So I'll still keep it a little slower. If a couple of you say, oh no, we get what you're going with that, you can speed up. I'll speed up. Just tell me. So anyway, where are you? I was going to go da 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 da. Where? In real time. So let's go back to the matrix again. No, we've got to go back to the matrix. We'll go edit pad to get to the thing what we're going to change, and I'm going to go 6. I want to miss one because I didn't like that, so it's going to go da 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 da. Right, so I'll record it in, and then I'll do it in real time. So we go. That's it. So I've got that there. So I've recorded that in now. So watch. Starts off at B. And it's doing all right, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it wasn't rhythmical. It's all right, though. It's all right. So what can I do with that then? Well, I can go to step sequencer. Again, another one of my favourite things. It's in the MPC as well. I'm guessing it's the same. Possibly, but it's really good. The only thing I don't like is that's called step sequence, and they're not the same thing. But anyway, I digress. So on that pad, I've got pad layer because that's what I did. I automated that pad layer thing, and I've got it here, and it's telling me what it's doing. So at the moment it's not doing O, it's just on a B. So I can go across the bars and I should be able to see it change, and it changed there. In fact, do you know what I need to do? All right. Oh wow, look at that. These are the things, do you know, because I added that in. That's what caught me on the last week's. I forgot to fix the timing. That's why I was like, oh, it's in triplets. So that means on here, it's still in triplets. I knew it. Just little things you have to kind of take notice of. So I've got my da 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 da. Let's see. So let's work out the timing of that. So we're cool to here. So we want. So I want that coming earlier. So I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to keep that the same key. Now, instead of me going like this and having to faff about, I've got all of this information. Why? Because I had it on screen. So what am I in? Am I in the first section or the second section? I'm in the second section. How do I know? Because look, that's number 1 and it goes up to 9. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What knobs am I on? Well, if I press that, it'll tell me. Now I'm in 9 to 16. So 9 to 16, these have appeared up. I can touch them to see what the numbers are. That was 6 because it's 6 semitones up. That's cool. And I'll turned it to 5. If you can't read it there and you need it, you've got glasses, you can read it there. Well, no, you can't really. There's not really much you can do about that, sadly. Larger scribble scripts would be nice. They would be nice, just for accessibility. So I've touched that, so I've made that 6 now. The note, what I didn't want it to do, I wanted to go da 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 da, so I wanted it to miss this one. So I want to move that down. That's in key, and that's in key, and then the last one here is 2. So let's see how that sounds. So I've skipped one of the notes, so let's see. Yeah, that. Maybe that one, maybe it needs to come in there. Da, da. That went da 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 da. Maybe, do you know what? Maybe it does want to be in there. So this one, no, it's this one in it. So that's 2. That 3. That one. So let's bring that down. Let's see what that's like. I don't have to necessarily wait till the whole thing plays back. I could just go in there, but it's all right. Doesn't really matter. We'll go back to it anyway. Let's see. Yeah, no, it wants to be da 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 da. So maybe that wants to be longer. And another quick way, instead of me having to do this as well, if I wanted this to be a little longer, I could just switch it off, and it'll continue that level of note. So that level of note now continues. If I switch it back on, it's reset them back to there. So hopefully you understood what I mean by that. So now maybe it's da 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 da. It's just the length. It's not right. Oh yeah, that's yeah. Do you know what it is? It's because I'm not paying attention to the timing. The timing's there because it's coming in 9. So this could go da, because that's da da da, but I like da 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 da. So what I can do is I'll go back to here, and this one I can go. What are we on? We're on 6, so I'll change that to 4. Da, 1 2 4 1 1 da. Da, 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 2, 2, da, da, da. Maybe that's right. Da, 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 da. Let's see. I won't stay on this too long. I'll move on. Just a quick one. That wants to come down. I think that might be right there. Yeah, that's right. That feels right. And the only thing, and then what we could do is we could double that up now. We could double that up. So I'll just copy it, duplicate. So I'll go into grid, duplicate that, and then I'll just nudge that across. Now, do you know what? What I've realized now, and I don't know if this is true, so I'm going to find out now. I don't know if that information, I don't think that information moves across. I think that's the only other side. The only other downside is I don't think, yeah, it doesn't copy that information. So yeah, that's a downside. So the only way I could kind of do it, and because I'm not that bothered about this tune, it's whatever, it's just an example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just half it and double it up. So what I'll do is I'll make that half there, and then I'll bring that down, and then what I'm going to do is trim it and just duplicate it. So now I've trimmed that. In fact, I could just trim it and it'll play around as a loop. But if I wanted to make it both length, then I could press Shift and number 3 to double it. But that'll do. I'll just have it like that. Then I'll go back a little, modify. So edit pad, and just put a little bit of the filter on it. So first of all, I'll have that come in. The other thing what I'll do is I'll have a little bit more filter cut off there because I don't want it that loud, and then turn it down, I guess. And that's it. Right, then let's start playing something over, put bass line in, and then that'll be one example. Right, so we've got some continuance what we don't want, so I'll kill some of that as well. Something like that. Why is that? Did I not delete? I bet I didn't delete that other. I didn't delete. I bet yeah, I didn't. Why is that going like that? Go here. There'll be obviously something. Right. So that's reset. So what I want to do is I need to go to the beginning of that to tell that here that I want this to come in at 2. So this wants to be 2, doesn't it? Because that's what it came in at 2. So when it goes back round, it'll just go dirt and it'll hold that note. So it won't change until then. So and what I could probably do, don't need to do any of this. I'm getting too much into the weeds. It's just now that envelope. What I could say is, and this got me a bit confused. So you probably want to take a look at some of my other videos. But this envelope, I could make this envelope fade out so it goes high. So the depth, I'll make the depth for that. So now the longer it goes, and then the attack, so I'll have it. Put a bit of, that's it. And make that higher. No, I'll have that too. That's all right, like that. Bring that attack in. That's it. Yeah, that's nice. And do you know what? What the hell? What the hell? Might as well put a bit of panning on that. There we go. Oh, we've got a little fade. So the envelope, basically the filter envelope here is saying, what this is saying is this high pass isn't going to come in until it reaches the attack point. So it's going to slowly, it's the way you've got to look at it is that effect is slowly going to come in when it hits there, and then it's just going to decay. Well, it doesn't have no decay. I can have no decay. So basically it's just going to keep going and not cut off. If I wanted that to go, yeah, come back in, then I'd bring the decay so it would slowly come back in. But I'm going to have it so that it just fades away. And then what I did is, with the LFO, I just used a sine wave to make it pan left and right. So if you've got headphones in, so it's like a little fade. And then what I could say is, I could go back and say, well, no, I want it to decay a bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, a bit less. There we go. And then maybe the volume of that can come down a little. That'll be all right. And that's just off that one sample because I heard that one sample. Let's right, I'm not feeling that bass really. I like tonal basses, so I'm going to add a quick tonal bass in, and I'll add some chords, and that will be one example of a slow R&B thing. And then I'm going to show a little more my kind of R&B type thing. So get a plug in, and I'm going to do a bass because we've already got chords. Do you know what? They're all right. Could they be more to that? Yeah, could have a phaser to them pianos. First of all, let's bring them up so we can. I go to master and then just go around a bit, see anything sticks out. That's kind of got a little vibe to it. Maybe a little cut off a bit. Maybe a bit in the mids cut off. And I don't know, phaser. I'm just literally making this up as I go along, so maybe a phaser. Now, see if this has got a rate. Yeah, I quite like that. Maybe even a bit more. And do you know what? A bit of reverb will probably not do any harm. Just to place it somewhere. So let's go to the bass now, like I was saying. So again, what I would do is I go note config before I do anything. I always say shift clip to go back into edit. Go to, oh right, I did a, oh, do you know what? I did some drum programming tweaking with envelopes. I haven't got a heading for envelopes. I actually did the step sequencer, but I haven't got a heading for that. And now I'm gonna do some tuning with note config. So I'll go do note config because I have the power. Right. So, oh, nice one, Tiquan. Appreciate it. Yeah. Like I say, it. Hopefully you'll be able to see how you could do these kind of things. At the moment, it's just a skeleton. Everybody knows. Whenever you see stuff where you go, oh, you make this track in 10 minutes, you're making a mad skeleton of a thing. Do you know what I mean? You're making a skeleton of a track. And of course, I could skeleton something out, but I'm doing it a little slower, and I'm doing a little weeding a bit because I just have a habit of doing that. But you get the idea, hopefully, of how you can formulate a track and get the pieces together. I always have this idea that I try and get everything in there, and then when it comes to arrangement, you drop things in and out and whatever. So anyway, next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for bass. And this was the first thing. This was what made me keep this Akai Force when I first got it, because the first week when I got it, I was so frustrated when it came to the recording. I went, what? And certain things didn't really work, and I was like, man. But there was one thing that I really made me go, oh, I can use this, and this kind of made it the sampling hip hop machine for me. Was I could find the key of any sample. Easy. And it was the first, I think it's one of the first vids I ever did, because it was when you could find how easy it is to find a sample. I don't know what the key of this sample is. It doesn't matter. I use piano because piano is a common sound, and it's the sound I use. I know with my ear. This is a root note, so this is what it's showing on the config. It's a root note. So I'll get this note. I go shift note to the config, and then I go to the root, which is this root, and I keep going through it, pressing this note until I hear a note that works all the way through. Now, the way I say works, it's subjective. It's like saying you can't hit the wrong notes. You can kind of hit the wrong notes, even if you're in key, because it might not feel right. It's a hard way to describe, but you'll get what I mean, because when I play this tune and I keep tapping, you'll know when it's right. That's the easiest way. We're human beings, and we know when it's right. We just do. So that's one of the notes in it, but that isn't it. That's one of the notes, but it's not it. That's the note. And the reason why is because, look, I'm pressing it. So the only thing now is the scale. So I think it's F major. I'm going to just check, because I'll go minor just to see if it feels right to me. No, so it's F major. So, two things I could do here, because it's F major, and every major has a minor. So what I could do is I could find the other note what worked with it. So that worked. Let's see if there's another note, because if we find the other note, I like working in minors, really, because they're usually more soulful. So I'm going to keep that and go through until I find another note what seems right. So it's A, I think it's A sharp. Oh no. So that feels right. No, that does not feel right. All right, so C minor. So maybe E C minor. No, that's not right. This could be it. No, that ain't it. Do you know what I think it is? I think it is F. It is F. But it's one of these funky Fs. And the reason why I say it's not funky F, it's a funky scale. And this is where I wish I could tell you another way around. There's some music theory where just knowing a little bit takes you a little bit further. A lot of soul type tunes use a thing called Lydian or Phrygian. And that's just, I'm just going to leave it like that. They tend to, if they're not majors or minors, for soul things, they're usually Lydian or Phrygian. So I'm guessing, but I've got a feeling because some of this didn't quite feel right to me, but we'll see. See, because that's got that extra. Let's try Lydian. No, do you know what? It's major. I think it's major. So we're going to just have to find things what will work. We'll have to just find something won't work in major. I never really liked playing in major, but it is what it is. It feels like, for the ease of showing you this, we're going to just play F major. I could probably look and find the other counterpart, what would probably be all right. And I could do it off the top of my head because I know Father Christmas gave Dad an electric blanket. So Father Christmas gave Dad an electric blanket. So Father, right, and then backwards 3. So B, E, A. So it's A flat, which is B sharp. So B sharp minor would be that. Right. Oh, eye ear skills. So B sharp minor would be right, I think. Let's test that, and I'll answer your question, ear skills. Let me just test that. Let me see how good my memory is. B sharp minor. Oh, B sharp minor. What is B sharp minor? Oh, good. Let me see. So it was C minor. So C minor was. It's B sharp minor. What is B sharp minor? I like that. See? That does not. Oh, B sharp minor. B sharp minor. I'm pressing B in it. Like a ding dong. Yeah, no, it does not feel right there. F major feels right. Anyway, bass. How low can you go? So now I've found the key, and I know that's that. I can just go back to shift clip, and I'll go find a bass. Quite a few of these warm basses sound nice, I think. There's one actually, it's called Soft and something. Where is it? Bass, warm, soft and hard, but soft. Right, so let me see. Hi Tom, small one. How do you modify the key of a sample? I've tried playing it out with the pitch, but this is changing other stuff, not quite sure. I was trying to fit a bass loop. Well, I think you've just joined in, so funny enough, I've kind of just showed that I think I have showed it. Well, I have, because I showed the automation of, I got a sample, what wasn't in the right key, and made that sample play a melody in the key of this song. So I was trying to fit a bass loop, but if you got a bass loop, you want to find the key. It depends on which way round you start. I always say this. Well, no, again, it matters how much you know. If you don't really know that much about music theory, always start with a sample and work into the other things into it. If you kind of got an idea of the music theory, or how I just showed you how you get a sample, then and what's great is, because I know this is F now, if I know the scale of F, what would be ace, but they didn't put it in, which would be ace, would be F somewhere on here. I know it kind of shows you on here, kind of. Where is, well, I ain't got piano, but if I did, I'll just show you. If on here it kind of shows you, it kind of shows you, but it's hard to see really. And what would have been ace is if somewhere on here it showed you the key, and then you could say, oh, when you press that, you go, oh right, that's a G. And then when you came over to your drum program, you'd be able to go here and you go, oh right, that's a G. Do you know what I mean? And then you'd know, all right, that's the right key. That's a G and that's a G. If this has got the key right. And that's, like I said, we start to get into stuff where it's like, I say this, use your ears. If it sounds right in your ears, it's right. That's probably the best starting way. When I'm making tunes, I go, da, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. And the reason why I do it, even though I sound mad, right, is I'm getting my ears tuned, because you can train to tune your ears so you do melodies. So that's the way I do it. It's a little slower, that you have to kind of go, right, well, I've got to go onto this thingy and then I'll go back there and that lot. Well, it is what it is. But if you know the key of the tune, then you can work back from there. So anyway, let's finish this tune off quickly. I'm going to do the bass, and then I'll do some chords, and that'll be that's just a tune. I'm not going to save it, but that's one type of thing. And I think I've showed enough there of this. And then I'll do another quick one. So do you know what I'm going to do? This is another trick of mine. You see what I was doing there? I was trying to find the bass notes, and I was going, I don't know. And I could be here for the cows to come home, right? Because I've used a sample for them chords. But what I could do is, I could get some chords, and they'll give me the bass. And I'm going to show a trick where this trick, really, I could have probably got a lot of money for this, because I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. But do you know what I mean? I'm a nice guy, so I'm going to show this, and a lot of people, when they watch this video, they'll go, "How come I never even saw that before?" And anybody who's got a push or an ovation, I think they do that as well. I think they do. Will probably look and go, "Oh my gosh, how did I not see this?" And this is, it's a way of making sure that you always get bass lines right by the best way I can say it. They'll always be right, but let me get there. Right. Bass could use a bit of saturations so that those who are watching. Good point. I'll do that. I'll do that now then. Right. Let me just put distortion. Okay. You're just gonna have to take for granted that that doesn't even sound like it's doing out. You're just gonna have to take it for granted. Where's the drive? So Is that any better? I'll compress it a bit as well. The idea is like, because I don't know what people are listening to stuff on. I'm some old-fashioned dude who still uses computer to hear stuff. So if you're on your phone, this might not be cutting through. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that, because otherwise I could be here and I'll be. And there's a couple of ways around this, right? What I sometimes do is I'll go dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 da. So now I've got my bass line. I just need to find the notes. Dun da 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 da. Right, and when you do that, what happens though? There's plus and minuses to that. That's good. You can do that, and you've got a bass line, yeah. But usually, what happens there is you usually end up with you go to bass lines, and you usually have these go to things where you end up with even in the rhythms, which is not necessarily bad. It's just sometimes it can be interesting to do another way. So I'm going to show you this other way now. Again, could earn money off this, but there you go. I've done it now. So what I'll do is. Yeah, I'll do it this way. I'm going to just, I'll leave that for that one, but I'll do this one. So let's find a pad. Because that's what I was going to do. So Seafarer I thought was good, I think, from what I remember. Did I see Snack Puppy? Did I imagine that? Oh no, that's all right. Right. So, do you know what? I better play it as chords first. I'll play it as piano. Do you know what? The only reason why I don't like doing that, sometimes I get stuck on a piano because I like the sound and I go, oh, that'll do. Right. Kira's, what is your favourite? What are your favourite? Let's say pop or EDM. My favourite used to be the bassline plugin and under sub and simple sign, and then just bring that down, because that has got a lot of bottom end and it's nice and it sounds nice on my speakers, but it doesn't necessarily cut through sometimes. And what I notice now is I've been going on the hype. This is something I've observed about plugins in general. That's why I'm not that big a big person on instrument plugins, because after a while, to me, it's all the same stuff. And the reason why I say that is, what tends to happen is you get a plugin and it's 5,000 sounds, and you're like, man, that's ace. But in reality, are you going through 5,000 sounds? And you aren't really. And what ends up happening is you go through the first 10 or 20. And I had to go out of my way to look at a lot of the subs on a lot of the basses on here. I'll say for hip hop and that, I would say look in bass warm and look in bass sub. Bass warm has got a lot of tones what are good. They sit underneath a lot of sounds, from what I've noticed. They're not like, they don't stick out. They seem to do the job. So for a hip hop track, you want something where, and again, it depends on what you're on about hip hop. If you're on about like trap and all new hip hop and a lot, then I'd say knock yourself out. Use bass summer and any of the EDM stuff. It's the same difference. It will be. If you're on about like old school or boom bap kind of stuff, then you want the bass not to get in the way of everything else. You want it to be that bottom end, just filling up the bottom end where the kick can't go. So you want it to be the tones that the kick can't go. Do you know what I mean? So for example, I always think of Shook Ones, how that's going doom 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 doom. doom, doom. The piano's doing all the things, but the bottom end is doom, doom, doom. So I'd say all the bass ones, the one what I just chose, that hard, not soft, is a good one. In the bass subs, probably further deep in, there's a few. There's some thump or grime bass, I think, is good. And then like turn down the cut off, so you're getting a lot less of the top edge punching through. But for new hip hop, any twangy bass will do. It is because it's just the 808, and it's same with that slap house. It's like now I looked at it, now I've got my head round slap house. This has got a whole heap of serum style sounds, not in hype, actuals are samples. If you go to bass house or the future bass, it's got a load of them samples that go blank blank, and then all you do is you just make them longer. So for EDM, any bass hard is a load of EDM stuff. Bass summer's got EDM things. And another thing you should do, and I'm guilty of not doing this a lot of times, is double them up, triple them up. Then you've got you get, and then just you're doubling up crossover areas in the frequencies. Sometimes they might be in phase, but they probably won't be. So you can double them up and get a nice chunkier sound. I did that last week on the just roughly. I went back and played it through it and had a check, and I noticed there was like a really good combination when I had a bass house sample that I made into a key group, and I played that and I messed about with it so it was a bit more slap house-ish. And then I got like bass fuzz, and I combined the bass fuzz with that, and it sounded like, because I was like going through and I went, oh man, I was so transfixed on getting it exactly like a serum that I missed a load of basses where I was like, that bass sounded dope. So for EDM, layer them up. Anyway, let's get back to what I was going to show you, because I was like, yeah, we could be in the weeds with all of this. What's that? What's that? Oh, yeah, it was because I was showing something I didn't play out. Right, because I don't want to be all here all day, I'm just going to, and that was Xander G who asked that question. I know it's about too late. Thanks. Right, if it's boom back then, you're laughing. You're laughing now. Nice one. Yeah, so shift note config. Now we know it's F major. Go to my favorite thing. Or what we could do, I don't know, this could take long. So I don't really want to do this because I don't know what the chords were. What we could do is we could actually go through finding the chords, so, and kind of layer them. I don't want to do that because I don't want to be here all day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go into progressions again, my favorite thing. I'm going to use the progressions what exist on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal bits of chords from it, because now it's in F and I know it was major. I can kind of look through this stuff and just look for the major ones, and I should find chords what work against what I have there. And because I'm going to add them as pads, it's not really going to make a real hardcore difference. So that might be all right. I like I say, I like the seventh. So what's that? See, that already works. It's not exciting. That could be all right. That could be, just because I'm going to speed this up. I'm just going to start adding in a few chords, and it might be janky. It might not be how I would have done it given the time, but we'll do some. So that's one. That's going to be another. That's going to be another. That's going to be another. So that's one. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm wanting to find a bass. So I'm just going to use some chords. These chords are probably not going to necessarily sit well with this. They should work. Maybe they won't sit well. It's not important for what I'm trying to show here. So that sounded terrible. Maybe. It's very countrified, but we'll do it. We'll do it. See what else we got. At the moment, I'm just using a dance because but do you know what? And I'm not even using the full thing, am I? I keep forgetting to use the full thing. Maybe that. Yeah, that'll do. So one more. See, that's the resolve, but that sounds like that doesn't work for me. I want a soulful resolve. So there's more, and there's more. So let's see. We'll keep in majors, just so that we don't have any grief. It probably could find something, but I think that's the resolve. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Like I said, I haven't thought this through. But as you see, that's another trick there that I've showed. Now, because now I've got them chords there, which I'll just mute them, mute that. Right, so the Machines one says, can you show how to set up XY filter performance jamming? Well, you press shift, navigate, and then you just press that and that inserts in, then you can go through setup and choose ones, and now that will be on the master channel. So now me personally never use that. Never use that. And the reason why is because there's a better way of doing it by using the actual XY. I'm not bothered about that. It's this touchy thingy. It's like you might as well make it on here because you've got more control. Or even better, you make it on a pad grid. The XY, this is again an MPC thing, which is just a leftover MPC thing. And they say, oh, they had it. And it's like, yeah, it was good when it was there, but there's so much better ways of being able to do that. But that's how you do that. You press shift, navigate, and that automatically inserts the XY onto the master channel. And then if you want to get rid of that master off the master channel, which I do, you come down here and you get it, close, you go here and you say, you can get the hell off of my track, you. That's it. Alternatively, and I haven't checked this, but I assume if you go, let's see, let's go to this drum. So we'll come back out here. If you go to the drum here, mixer, and I go here and I go click here and I go XY, which is I think under modulation, and I was wrong, it's under harmonics. So if I go XY, I go and find XY here and I add it to that channel. I think if I go shift navigate, I think I can tell it when, oh no, that tells it where the outputs are. Oh, right. So you go in here and you go back and you go to track So now that's onto that track. So it's going to be on the XY of that track. Now what's interesting, and I've just realized this now, I've literally just realized this, because of whatever I've got on this track, i.e. the drum track, what I've just done there, and I've set that up as beat repeat, that's going to do beat repeat on this shift navigate, on this track, on track. Hopefully you understand what I mean. I'm going to try and repeat that again. If I put beat repeat on this, but I put filter on here, right? When I use this, it's going to do whatever beat repeat is. And no, it's not. It can't do that. It must be per track. I don't even know if this is true. So let's play and see. Yeah, it does. So there you go. So do you know what? To tell the truth, I've just realized something. This is a really quick way of getting automation in. So that's a quick way of getting automation into your track. Where is it? Which is it? That's it. So if I did latch, so if I record that in theory, that will automate in. So now if I go to clip, yeah, so it's there. Yeah, so it's there. So that's quite cool. So it's not on the master, it's actually on that track now. So that's a way, that's actually, I'm glad you asked that question now. I've been so dismissive of shift navigate, of X thing, that I've just realized you can use that to do really quick automation effects, because I can turn this off. I can go shift navigate now, and I can go and I can just switch. I can switch this back to outputs how it would be normally on the output 1 and 2, because it's looking at output 1 and 2. The other thing as well, what I just noticed is, because it's per track, if I was in track, all I'd have to do is move to each track, and each track could have its own XY automation. And even more than that, I just realized if you put 2 XYs in and you had one as a fade and one as a something else on that track, it would do both of those things across that track what you were on. So that's pretty amazing. And what's great about that now, I've got that in there and I could go somewhere else and do something else. So that's really a really fast way for people who are not really wanting to menu dive and get precise stuff. So I appreciate that. The machines did win. The machines did win. So that's champion. Right, I'm going to get rid of that now because I don't want that on my stuff. But that was cool. So I'm going to go here and I'll go there and we'll open that up, put that in the bin, open it up again, get that one, and put that in the bin. Now, do you know, while we're at it, because we're talking about it, I'm going to tell you something else, which again, this is a prime example of why this is so far superior than anything else on the market, especially even just now where it is. Because if I went to master and I went to submixes, so you get out of it. Right. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm in master. I get what's happening here. I guess what's happening here is because I'm in pad. Let me think how I would do it. Oh, yeah, submixes. So I'm going to go across to submixes here. I'm going to do that again. Right. I'm in pad here now, right? And here's what's kind of cool, and this is the way I would use it. Do you see how I had to get rid of I had to go in and delete all that information off each one by one, to delete all that information off of the what's its name, the off of the clip that I had. But a better way of me doing that would have been to do this, and hence the reason why I say this is really ace. What I would do, or can do, and I haven't even made any songs in ages because I've been just so busy doing other stuff, but when I'm going to make song, I'd go to a sub. So let's say, for the sake of argument, I'm going to keep 4 subs free for some mad routing and super duper like proper SSL mixing stuff that I'm going to do. And I'm going to go to number 5, and 5 is going to just be for some freaky effects. I don't know, whatever. Just for the sake of it. No, I'm going to just keep it simple. I'm just going to say, look, I'm just going to sub 1, whatever, right? Now, I could go to the master, right? Add that effect to sub 1, the XY. So I'm going down to that harmonics. And I'll add that effect down. So I've got that effect down. Then I can go shift navigate. I could go and tap that or click it to open it up, outputs. Go to the submix 1. And now this is on the submix 1. Why do I want that? Easy Brian. Right. Why do I want to do that? Because here's where stuff really gets into its own. This is now, and it should be, and we can check that from navigate. This is on the submixes. In fact, let's double check that. So these are all yellow. So if I go there, yep, that's right. So you can tell where you are by looking at the bottom. So if they're grey, they're all on the masters, and we can see there. Hence, the reason why people might go, no, well, because a lot of people probably go, what's the point of that? Navigate, what's the point of it? And blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it has some really good uses. And especially if you're not used to certain things, it's really great. So now, automation unauthoritated def, automation activated on master track. Oh, I think you were just saying it is automating on master track. But anyway, so back to that point of why I was saying with that deleting, if I was doing all that, I had to do all that deleting. I'm like, man, I don't want to have to do that all the time. I could have copied it over into the clip. Like I said, there's multiple ways you can do the same thing, but a way that I personally like and won't be easy is, what I can do is I can create, let's see. Oh, right. No, I'm here. That one. Eh? That's not an audio track. Wait a minute. Don't tell me that this isn't here yet. No, I'm not imagining it. Let me just make sure where I am. Yeah, no, I wasn't imagining it. Wait a minute, undo. I knew I didn't imagine that. Undo. Can I not do it that way? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can't double tap that. It don't make sense, double tap it. So let me explain again. So now I can go here, double tap that, and I've now created a submix clip. Why would I create a submix clip? It's a submix automation clip. So now what I could do is I could create automation states that I could record in. So for example, now I'll go here and I'm playing it. So the only thing that I'm wondering is, where's the play state? That's the only thing that I'm not quite sure about, where the play state is. Let me just check. I'm in there. Right. Interesting. Select. Now. Oh, wait a minute. No. I'm on submix 1. Interesting. I'm sure there might be a bug issue with that, because I'm sure that these light up. This is saying this is an auto mode, but it's not. Anyway, I digress. Look, you've got it here. So, yeah, no, I know launch, but launch will launch all of that stuff. Because look, if I add this, it's going to launch them both. So I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want to just launch the one. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. You're right. I see what you're saying. I didn't see it. Again, yeah, do you know what? That's why you meant launch. Nice one to Quan. Nice one. I knew I was like, hey, I'm sure maybe I'm wrong. No. Yeah, right. There we go. Right. So, anyway, what's cool is, again, 1, 2, 3, shift navigate. So I'm playing that play. So I can go, I'm recording. Obviously this is trash. But the ace thing is, look at that. I've got that as a thing and I can turn it off. And it's locked into that position because it was in off state. So what I want to do is I want to go into this clip here and then I'd want to find where the up state is. But what's cool about that is I need to find where the off state is. Enable, it's here in it. So I just need to find out where the off is and then oh yeah, because it's 4 in it, it's 4 bars. So I'd have to. Anyway, you know what I mean. Obviously, I'd have to switch off there, so I'd play it there. It's playing all the way through. It's doing all that, and then when it got to the end of that, I could have switched it off there. I guess. I think. There, and there we go. That's it. So that's how you could do that stuff, which is a lot doper because it means you can now record. You can record automation clips. So instead of even using the XY, you could get really precise with the automation clip. And what's ace about it is shift select. I could go into there and I could go, all right, well, blah, 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 do this. But in conjunction with step, I think it's ace in conjunction with step because I could go into there and I could go, right, well, that's ace now. So let me just go over to steps sequence and I go, all right, I can fix that, blah, blah, blah. I'll go back and say, all right, well, it's this one, I'll fix this and blah, blah, blah. But what I want is the off switch. So I don't want it to come on here. So I want to look for the enable. Where is enable? There we go. So I want it to come on and then switch off. I don't want it on in here. And I could go through bars and switch it off there. So I want it doing that. And I want it to do double rolls at the end. And Bob's your uncle. So you could create, yeah. So you can create a bank of several automations in your submix. Do you know what? I don't know. Can you save that as a track? Interesting. What would happen? Let's see, because I haven't tried that. Save, track. And you could save those. So you could save and open those. In theory, there's a fault on this, and I wrote a big thingy about it. There's a fault on the way it saves tracks, but you could actually save an automation track and then say, right, oh, that was Ace Automation, and then load that up into another program. Obviously, you would have to have the same lines, so you'd have to remember, all right, well, no, you wouldn't have to do anything. I've just realised it's just an automation submix. So it would do that, and then you just add it into that submix. So look at that. That's how it's amazing. If you can save them, load track, yeah. Well, let's see. If I went and I went there and I went load, and I went here, and there was a thingy. It would probably be effects, wouldn't it? It would probably be effects. Shall we try it? Let's try it. Right, I'm going to save that. So save track. I'll save it to my tracks thing so that I'm not having to faff about. Submix 1. Let's see what happens. Right. So I've got, now I should have a thing called Submix 1 somewhere here. There's Submix 1. Right. I'm going to move it to there and see if it loads into here. Right. Submix 1. Oh, it does see it. So I'm going to resolve it. We'll generate a unique thing. Let's see. Did it? So let's click off here. No, it didn't do it. It didn't do it. Or did it? Well, let's delete. Oh no, I just remembered this doesn't work. This doesn't work properly. This doesn't work properly. In theory, that would have worked, but for some reason, it doesn't load clips up. It's knacked, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Load clips up. But in theory, if they fix it, that would work. But I remember because I tried to do something with a track, a load up track, and then basically somebody was telling me, oh, it never did that, and I was, yeah, well, yeah, it does, because look, and 306 did it, and there's some issues. So yeah, all right, anyway, let me get rid of that because I don't want to, I don't like filling my stuff up with mush. And do you know why that would work? Because look, it didn't save a folder because it had no track data, so it would have done that. So that probably would have worked. Right, but we'll delete it because I don't like mush. Did I? Oh yeah, I'll delete that as well while I'm here because that was a test run. So I'll get rid of that and get rid of that. Right, so anyway, after that trip somewhere else, we'll get back to this R&B song, which has took 2.5 hours, and then I'm going to show you my R&B thing, what I like. So we'll get this, and I'll show you. So anyway, we've got the chord stuff, didn't we? So we've got a, let's go here. Right. The reason why I did that was because of this. Like I said, I could have got mad money for this, but this is how nice a human being I am. That's why anybody giving me a super thanks or a super chat or anything like that would be nice. It'd be helpful because I'm showing stuff that what I'm going to show now, I know loads of people are aware of it, never mind on the Force. They're not aware of it on Push or anything else what usually does it, and it's pads. And this is why I did the chords. For anybody who's joined in now, you have to rewind and, oh, it's frozen. You didn't want me to show that secret. You don't want me to show the secret. It must be that. Let's see. Wait a minute. See, I should be like one of them guys. Yeah, there's so many secrets. Let me see. Searching. Wow, it's overheated. Let me see. It's frozen. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't know how it's shut down, but it's shut down. I'll have to shut it down and see what happens now. Right, start again. IV cam. Right, there we go. Yeah, wow. I think my machine's saying, don't show them, Tom. Don't show them. You should be getting mad dollars for what you're showing now. Gonna have to. Right. Everybody's seen an Akai Force, so I'm going to assume if you've even just joined in now, you know what an Akai Force looks like. So that's it. It's all gone a bit janky. And let me try and see if I can fix it a little there, a little bit better. Right, the colours are all off. There, you get the idea. Let me see if I'll quickly see if I can fix the colours a bit. Lock that. ISO, bring that down. And yeah, that'll do. It's about the size of it. Right. Yeah, whatever. Right. Okay, I'm going to show it. Right. So, well, you know what all that is, and you don't need that. I've created chords so that I know where I've got something that I can look at. So what I can do is I can go here, go back to notes. I go to scales. And what happens now is I'm seeing all the notes in the case. Yeah, I can't take off the phone thing. It's just like I can't do it. Anyway, right, I can see all the notes. Why is that good? Oh, easy, Paul. Nice one to join in. Right. Why is that good? Because it tells me all the notes what are right in that chord. It's not telling me what's right in the scale. It's telling me what's right in what I played. So what does that mean? Well, here's what's good about like the grid. The grid is patterns. So I'm seeing patterns for each one of these. So the first pattern I can look at, and I'll go down one because it's bass. Right, so that's the pattern there. So it means all these notes here, and even these notes, the ones what are showing there, they're not played, but those are ones what would work as well. But just for the sake of, I'm going to use that. So, so now what I can say is, if I go, and now look, that's the root of that one. I always try to say they look like certain patterns. So I don't know, I don't know what this is. I'll say this is 3 and 1 over there. So I go 3 and 1 over there. Alternatively, I can say these notes work as well. So if that's an easy way for me to see it, so if I look at that, I can say, well, it's these. And then I can say, oh, well, that's the bass now. So now, for the first part of this tune, it's a bass. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't even record that in, so we'll do that again. And I'm just randomly. So that first note I don't like. It's so I'll get rid of that. Shift, get into grid mode. So that's what I like. In fact, I'll miss the first one. So then all I have to do is look for the next chord. So that's the pattern I see. So that's the next pattern. It's still the same. What was that? So that's the pattern. So that's the next pattern I can use. So see, and I don't know what I'm playing because I don't have to worry about it. It's going to always be right. And that third chord. So this is, I'm simplifying this, but it could be more so. I just have to look for that last note. And it's that. So it's an upside down Y. So it's an upside down Y. Maybe that way around. I'm playing way more bass than I probably would on one of these tunes, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll do it. Now it feels like I might as well have that for that note in. I flooded this tune out with bass, but so now I can get rid of that piano. What I put in, I could keep it because I might use it for pads, which I am gonna. So there was something there. Now I'm getting into the weeds, but that third note is not what I'm feeling. So down, 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 down. So that, get rid of it. Go in there, get rid of that. Delete. Da, da, da. That would make more sense. Da, da. So I'll get that. I'll move it across there, and then I'll get that, move it down, and it's somewhere around there. I'll make it a bit larger. Something like that. Oh, baby, you like me shoes tonight. And then, now that I have that piano, and I don't want it as piano, I want it as a pad. Now, I'll show you that last bit, and then I'm going to quickly do my thing, and then we'll call it. My last bit, which again was one of these things where I only found out by using this, and I thought, wow, this is ace. Just go down here. Go right down. Default. This default is changed now, but I'll show you this. Again, I've got a video somewhere in there. This is that funk sound. That's all I can say. It's not funk sound. This R&B soul sound. And you can get it on any one of these hype synths what's got a bend and bend time. And what you do at the moment, it's that sound. Obviously, it's not the sound we want. We want to smooth it out. So what I'll do is I'll take the cut off down. So that's cool. That's all right. It's nice. Probably take some of that delay off. I don't really need it. Yeah, it's all right. It's not really doing much. But because it's got the bend in that, you can bend the you're bending the envelope. So what I can do is I can bend it by a note, and what I'm going to do is I'll bend it by half an octave. So what I'll do is I'll go down to 6. Which is it 5th or 7th? I can't remember. Whatever. Anyway, you do it by half an octave, and what happens is can't hear it yet because now we want to move the bend time. So it's like a glide, but it's a glide on the actual sound as opposed to glide on the notes. So now it's bending up, and what happens now is you get that kind of chord flush sound. So this is too low. So what I'll do is I'll get that clip, I'll select all, shift all, remember the note that I was on. It doesn't really matter. Transpose, just remember the note so that you know you're going up by 12. Easy, Steve, thanks. So what was it? C. So I'm going to go C4 to C5. because it was C, so C4 to C5. Let's just check, see how that sounds. There we go. So what the other thing what I want to do as well for me is I'm gonna go here, shift clip, and I'll move the attack so that it's not as pointy. So I'm gonna go to filter. Maybe bring that up. I don't think I need as much bass. And what I've noticed is that's just the attack. So if you turn the oscillator just to the left, so you're only on that oscillator, then you can kind of choose different kind of however what kind of funky kind of, well, not funky, R&B bend sound you like. And I'll do more release on this. So I've got more of a floaty thing. Oh baby, I like your shoes tonight. Yeah. And then now I could add something in, and one of my favorites, especially for R&B stuff, is I think it's lead soft, and that's the 808 kick. And you go to the 808 kick, the sign, take a, well, for me anyway, I like a little bit of the attack taken off, a little bit of that taken down. Don't need any delay. Don't really need any reverb. And then bring that up to octaves 4 or higher. So I'll probably filter that a bit more. And then go to your mixer and turn it down a little. So probably maybe I would add a bit delay in there, maybe a bit more delay. I don't know. Like I said, now I'm starting to speed up a bit. Okay, so that was how you can get that. Obviously, I've condensed a lot of stuff in there. Also, I would have said the thing about a lot of the more thingy R&B, that's playable. You want a bit more sparse in between it. So them chords, they're a bit too quick even then, because you probably went bring. Do you know what I mean? That half-time thing. But I mean, there's nothing to say you can't half-time all of that. I suppose what I could do in a quick way is I could go to outs, go to sub 2, take all of these except for the drum. So the drum's not going out sub 2. So I'll get that. I'll leave the bass. No, I'll do the bass as well. So everything's going sub 2. I'll leave that as is. And then I can go across here, sub 2. Go to the effects. Go into sub 2. Go to modulation, I think it is. Half speed. Oh, it's gone again. Mad overheated. I think, dag nabbit, my phone is on its, what, is it on its way out? It's mad overheated. It keeps shutting down, and you can hear me, but it's still overheated. Let me see. Has it come back? Yeah, it's come back. I don't know how. Do you know what? There's a delay here in there as well. Let's see. Is it back on? I'm back on over here. Are you lot back on? Yeah. I suppose this is why I really do need them super thanks. Maybe over time. Right. Okay. So you get the idea. And I'm going to quickly show you. And this is going to be speed through. So I've done it slow. And you'll be able to see that. And then I'll show you the other type of R&B. And this is also for the hip hop and other stuff. But I'll quickly show you. So I'll play it one more time before I get rid of it. So there's that half speed thing. Maybe we could do a combination in both half. Maybe take the bass out of that sub of that thing. Did I put the bass in? Yeah, I did. Let's take the bass out. So, oh no, the bass was here. Where I don't even know if you can hear that bass. Right, forget all that, right? So anyway, that was the size of that. Get rid of that. And we'll quickly do one, and then I'll have to do one. So, right, the other way of doing R&B, more my type, more UK. It's US style, but it's more what we do in the UK. Because like I said, I was at the beginning of this stream, we like to dance over here, and we've had club stuff for ages. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load up, and I'll do this mad fast. Right, let's see how fast I can do it and still make it make sense. Right, and all the techniques that I've showed are the same way. It's just something I'll show a little faster. Right, okay, go. Let's clear everything. Blam, blam. Right, go to load. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find the sample, what I want to use. So I'm going to quickly go down here. I think I had it in there under tracks because the tracks aren't working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight into here. No, do you know what? Right, I'm going to do that, yeah. I'll just do that. I'll do that. Wasn't the one I was going to... Oh, look at that. It created a load. I didn't mean to do that, but it doesn't really matter. Right, so we'll have that. Okay. Shall we have that? Yeah, we will. We're going with what we're going with. So... I've got that. It's done that there. I didn't mean to do that, but it doesn't really matter. So then I'm going to go to chop, and I'm going to get that sample. Make sure I stop all because I don't want anything else. I'm going to just play it. I'm going to. That'll do me. I'll check them. Obviously, if I wanted to do this a lot neater, I would... Oh, easy, Jason. All right, safe. If I wanted to do this a little neater, I would have done that 0, no, and you blah, blah, blah. You all know that, right? I'm going to convert that, right? I'll do pad parameters, even though I'm not going to mess around with them very, very much. But I'll do pad parameters because I've explained why you'd want to do parameters, right? So I've got my thing there. Go shift clip, so I'm into pads. So 90 R&B, let me say 92. That means the DJ can play it, but if he wants to speed it up, it's all right. If depending on the vibe in the club, it means that he's being able to hit it with other Afro beat stuff. Afrobeat's another one I'm going to show you. That's why I'm separating them up into little bits. So like I said, this is now this one I showed you, the slow R&B. Obviously I could have stretched it out more and blah blah blah. Not enough time to range because like I said, I don't know how fast or slow. That's what I want you to tell me in the comments. If a lot of people say you don't need to go that slow, Tom, then I'll go faster. If nobody says oh, then I assume that's the right speed to do stuff. Right. Okay. So let's get rid of this thing because I didn't need it anyway. I'm gonna have a quick play about because I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but quickly. So in fact, you know what? All right, what's that? That's no. What is that? That's no. So let's go back again because I don't like that. What's that? Oh, we're doing that all again then. Forget all that. We'll do it again. Right. Don't know what was going on that. So we'll do all that again. Here we go. Let's try and get fast. What if I did that to a beat? No, that's too. Let's do it. So. All right. We're back in here. I thought I cleared that, so undo. Right. What was wrong there? Right. So 2. Get rid of that. That's something else as well. Get rid of that. Right. Okay. So convert. I could have fixed it, but it doesn't matter. Right. Shift clip. Get back into it. Yeah, something. I'm really just. Let me think. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, something like that. That felt groovy. I bet you I don't get to do it twice. I bet you anything I won't be able to do it again twice. So let's see. Shift on there. Right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Right. So let's fix that. Undo that. No, do you know what? I'm doing that again because that was like madness. I wasn't even listening to the click. Let's do it again. So I'm going to go. Do you know what? Just do it as one bar. That sounded nice. Well, that sounded nice. So we'll just do that as 1, 2. Here we go. Okay, so we've got some time issues, but that's all right. We'll get in there while it's playing and fix it all up. Is there a reason why that is? No, it's just me, my bad timing. That's fine. So get into grid, get into there, highlight that, move that nudge in so it's in time. Move that, get that in time, get that in time. So that's fast. That other one feels fast. So that's right. We'll fix the timing of that. So So that one. So we'll go in here, edit pad again, tail end, get that tail end right out there, 1600 or whatever, doesn't really matter. We just want it so it's going round. So where's that? Yeah, I'll have it like that. Do something crunchy and funky and see what happens. That feels too long, that. It's like, it's like that waits. So we'll move that. Don't shift. That feels too quick as well. That feels all right. Obviously, it would be a little more together with it, but we'll go in here and we'll add some drums just so that we've got something to guide us. I'm just going to go in and get something off one of these kits here because I think they were all right. I think that one sounds all right, so we'll go for that. Right, so we'll go into here, shift this down, and this is where this comes into its own. This is why I really, really like the drum program. If I select all on here, what there is there's loads and loads of different filters, and you should check them out. But what I think is a really good one for samples, depending on what you want to do with it, is Model 2. And what it does is, it has this curve that can cut off. Right, oh good lord. Let me get back to it. Model 2. Go to envelope filter and bring down the cutoff. And you can make certain things bassier. So now I've got that. Then what I could do now is I could come in here. I've been messing with that pianet on the electrics. Doesn't sound too bad, to tell the truth, for R&B. And like I said, until the thingy comes out, the the fabric stuff. I think some of this stuff is all right, but the pianet's quite nice. So then I'm going to go shift, and again, before I do find the key. So D minor, yeah, D minor. So the other thing as well is what I'll do is, because I can hear it, I'm going to go edit pad. And I'm going to go to FX twice, and use this bass type because it thickens stuff up. You might, if you've got headphones on, you'll probably hear that. So I've got that. Then I'll go back to my chords, shift, because I've now got it in the right key, and I've got it in the right, what's its name? Scale. So now, my favourite thing, progressions, and then, do you know what, just for easy use, while I'm on progressions, go down here, go to something like gospel, and look for a minor. The first one's a church thing, But the next one, I think, one of these is like modern. One of these, anyway. Just need to look for a minor one. Is that a minor? If gospel doesn't work, go for jazz. Let's see. Yeah, none of these are doing it. Go for jazz. Like I said, the jazz one's doing well. So. Two sound all right. Do you know what I'm going to do? Quickly change back over, go back to that try-on style thing. Try-on thing. A bit of bend. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Not feeling that. Actually, do you know what? I think I'm going to call it, because I've gone on quite a bit. Last question. Romnet, nice things is also I've been bugged on the Force. I have trouble with dropping notes. I don't know. I've never really used auto sampling because I just don't. The way I see it, if I have anything external, I'll play it in as MIDI, or I'll use it. So I'll use the Force to play it, and then record the actual stuff in as an actual sample clip, because I wouldn't like key groups and stuff like that. The only reason why I'd use key groups is if I wanted to get some notes. So I use it like raw. I don't think it's built for. Well, I don't think any of them are built like. I think only old school samplers where you had to do some hardcore stuff is built like that, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, you can do a lot of sample synthesis easily on this stuff, but I don't know. It doesn't work in my mind. I think it's a really long way around a short pier. If you've got a device, I wouldn't auto sample unless that's a continuous thing that you're using, and like you don't want to be near a computer, then fair enough. And then again, I would only auto sample for the span that I use. So for example, if it was a bass, I'd only span it from C1 to C2, and that'd be it. And then that's all I'm using. Do I need something? If it's multi-layered, some multi-layered shenanigans that I'm using, I wouldn't do that neither. I don't think. I would just record it and then be blam. So yeah, I think that's been a considerable amount of time. Apologies for the freezes. I don't know what was going on there. But anyway, I hope all of the stuff, and I think we've both kind of shown each other stuff, so definitely subscribe. As the man says,
So just do it!
Make your dreams come true and that lot. And tune in next week and I'll be doing something else. I don't know, maybe rock, who knows. Also, please comment, tell me because I want to know, can I use a keyboard in here? Anything like that? You might not be able to see the keyboard. I've just been using the notes on here, but I mean, I could literally use this as a hub and then be just pressing keys. I don't know if me pressing these pads makes a difference to anybody. If it does, I'll carry on the same way it does. Anything else as well, just ask the questions or something, and then I can kind of compile them for next week. Or if it's things what I can answer in the comments, I'll answer in the comments. I always try and answer everything in the comments anyway, but if there's something particular, then I'll try and do it there. And like I said, if there's a genre that somebody's on about, if it's a subgenre, so for example, if it's a subgenre, say I don't know, Jekyll and Hyde house. I don't know what Jekyll and Hyde house is. You're gonna have to send me a link in a comment and say this is Jekyll and Hyde house, and then I'll analyze it and try and work out. Or for example, if there's something that you've seen in another program and how you do it on the Force, send me a link to it, link it in the comments. Then I'll look and then I can go right, and then I'll go, all right, then let me try it. Do you know what I mean? Has the theory board been updated? No, it'll never be updated. If that's updates, I'll jump out of a window, because if it did what it was meant to do, I probably would not config wouldn't even be a thing. It wouldn't be a thing. It'd be no. Sorry to say, no. If you haven't got a theory board, don't buy one. No, that's not fair. If you've got, don't go out your way to get a theory board. That's a better way of saying it. Is a theory board good? Again, depends. If you don't know anything about music, anything at all, no music theory, it's worth buying. If you know even slightly a bit, it's not really worth it. Especially if you've got Force, it just takes a little longer. Where this is a press of a button, this is like more buttons to press to get the same result. Yeah. So like I say, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for everybody who joined in, and R.I.P. Bernard Cribbins, who passed away recently, and I liked him in Doctor Who and that lot, and other comedy stuff anyway. And don't forget, give me a super thanks or super likes or whatever if you like the stuff I'm showing. And I'll be back next week. And as always, I say, and let me see if I'll make sure not to cut it off this time.